Yo, welcome back to another video. Today we are in the open greatly, and let's try out this team. We're going to be using the Sandslash paired with the Azumarill and the Shadow Marowak. Electros here is going to be using a bait, and then we're going to see what move they're going to be throwing. It looks like they are going to be able to fire another move. Crunch does get revealed, so they're running Dragon Claw and Crunch. Interesting moveset. We go for the drill run to take it out, and now we see the Swampert lurking in the back. Swampert is going to be pretty decent against our Marowak, so we're just going to stay in, deal as much damage as possible, then use our Azumarill to soak up all this damage. They like to go for the Earthquake, which is fine, and now we're just going to throw on good timing. This Ice Beam might get a shield. Yeah, it does get the shield right there. And now they're going to be forced to use some more energy. They go for the Hydro Cannon bait, but we don't fall for it. They switch out into the Rorus. We catch a move here because we think we can survive one. Yes, we can survive that. This Shadow Marowak, surprisingly very tanky. So now we elect to use the shield there because we are at another move. Bone Club does get used, takes out the Rorus, and now we're going to be able to farm down these Swampers. So GG's to our opponent, able to win that game with the Shadow Marowak, but mainly because the Azumarill was soaking up all that damage and applying shield pressure. All right, Sandslash versus the Ariados. They switch out into their Feraligatr. This is going to be tricky. Shadow Feraligatr switch-in is going to be interesting to deal with. We're going to go for this drill run first. They elect a shield. So we do take the shield advantage, switch into our Azumarill. Basically, we are going to try to get this Feraligatr as low as possible. But you can see our opponent is throwing on good timing, very spammy. Before we even get to one play rub, they fired off 2 Hydro Cannons. We get the second shield, so we can elect to... Okay, nice catch by our opponents. Now they're going to be able to come back in here with the Ariados. And we're going to switch out into the Sandslash as soon as possible. We force out some energy. Lunge gets used, and now we have to win the game with 2 shield Marowak. All right, they're going to throw some energy here. We're going to have to shield. Ends up being the Troll Blade, so we did shield the correct move. We do get the farm down, and that's huge. Now we're going to be able to dictate the end game a little bit better. They switch out immediately into the Feraligatr, but we do have a shield. We're going to go for this Bone Club. Does take it out, thankfully. And now we have to survive a Scorching Sand from this Digger's Beam. We use our Bone Club here. And here comes the Scorching Sand. We do survive it. And now it's going to be a race. Can we get to this move? We do get to the move. Will this KO? Yes, it will. Taking out the very tanky Diggersby is amazing. So GG's to our opponent. I believe that Marowak was debuffed as well, so it put in tremendous work considering all things. All right, here we go. We got the Sandslash versus the Azumarill. We're going to switch on to the Azumarill. They counter swap into their Drapion. This is a non-shadow version, so we're not going to show the first one. Okay, ends up being the Crunch only, so that was good, no shield. We go for the Ice Beam here to chip away, and I believe we got debuffed right there, so there comes another Crunch, and it does a little bit more, but we can still tank it. Another Ice Beam does get used, takes out the Drapion. Just like that, we have flipped the switch. They're going to go into their Primeape. Primeape is going to start ramping up with the Rage Fist. We're going to use our Marowak here to try to basically fast move them down. Another Rage Fist does get used. They counter swap into their Azumarill. So they have Primeape and Azumarill left. We're going to go into our Sandslash here. Are they running Hydro? No, they're running Ice Beam. So now we have a chance to come back from this game. We're going to throw this Draw Run, chip away at the health of the Azumarill. We know they're not running Hydro Pump. There is the play rough, so we just got to throw in good timing here so that we have a chance to win the game. We overfarm here because they can switch out immediately. And we need energy, so that's exactly what we do. We fire off the Ice Punch, and we do get them to expend their last shield. We go for the farm down. We get the farm down, and now we're going to be able to fire off this Bone Club for the win. So GG's to our opponent. Shadow Marowak coming in clutch, closing the game, farming down, and coming out with a ton of energy. Right now, Shadow Marowak MVP for sure. All right, we got the same lead here. We're going to switch out into the Mirror Azumarill. They're staying in as well. Interesting. Maybe a chip and dip. There goes the play rough. Here we go. We're going to throw our own play rough, and let's see what they end up doing here. Okay. They're staying in for now, which is interesting. The question is, do they have a double weakness to the Azumarill in the back, or are they just trying to chip away at our Azumarill? So we're going to switch back out into the Sandslash so that we have the Azumarill later. We have a feeling it might be better in the back. Our opponent here does throw another play rough, and all we have to do here is over farm, fire off the Ice Punch. This Ice Punch here will take out the Azumarill, get a shield, and we see the Sandslash. So almost a mirror team right now. We don't know the third Pokemon, but the first two Pokemon revealed have been mirrors. Just like that, we've already gotten 2 shields, so whatever they have in the bag didn't want to see the Sandslash either. We're not going to allow them to farm us down, so we're going to go into our Marowak. There is the Goodra. So now we can see why they're hesitant to switch. Shadow Marowak putting in work, trying to get this Goodra out of here. 2 Bone Clubs takes out the Goodra, and now it comes down to, can we fast move down? The answer is no, because we're going to allow them to use some energy to take us out. And then we're going to go back into our Azumarill. Play Rub does get used. They have to get to 2 moves, and GG's to our opponent, able to win that game. Very tricky game considering they didn't want to switch out in the beginning, so those are always kind of tricky. But at the end, we did make the right decision. We had the Shadow Marowak absolutely clutching it up for us. All right, we got the Toxapex, and then they counter swap into the Primate. We're going to go into our Azumarill here. This, unfortunately, isn't necessarily a hard counter. It is a counter because they're going to have to expend shields. But you can see right here, these Rage Fists will start adding up. Just look at the health damage. They did use a shield, but you can see they're going to be... They have the opportunity right here to double shield and flip the switch. Yep. There you go. So we can't allow that farm down, so we're going to have to switch out into our Marowak. Rage Fist does get used right there. Huge damage, but then we're going to get to another move, so we have to shield this one. Now we see the Toxapex come back in. This is going to be favorable for us. We're trying to get to another Bone Club. We do get to the Bone Club here, so this is going to get this really low, or the KO. Okay, gets it really low. They have the Annihilate in the back, and that is terrible because we have the Sandslash still. So GG's to our opponent, unable to win this game here. Double fighters in the back is going to be kind of tough. So check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoy the video.